Hey guys, my name is Pansy and welcome to my fail stacking guide. In this video I'm going to go over the basics of building fail stacks, how to make them, how many stacks you need for which type of gear, and also a little bit of the theory behind enhancing for profit. So stay tuned. Before we begin, please do like, comment, and subscribe if you find this video helpful. Hit the bell icon so you get notifications every time I drop a new video. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section down below, or check me out at twitch.tv/I'mPansy, as well as my Discord channel, which is also in the description down below. Understanding the concept of fail stacking is quite important in BDO because it's all about the fail stacks when you're trying to enhance gear. Now, the fail stacks alone won't carry you because RNG is RNG, and sometimes when they say 70%, it feels like 7%. But it is important to know how to build fail stacks because it'll make your life a lot easier when you're trying to enhance. First, let's go over reblath gear. Over here at Valia, speak to the blacksmith and open up his shop. He sells reblath armor, which is white armor with really low enhance rates. These are really useful for failing enhancements in order to build fail stacks. I'd recommend using the gloves or the shoes because they are the cheapest and they'll save you a little bit of money when you're trying to repair. Now, a quick way to buy a bunch of these is to just right click the item in the store here instead of clicking buy because there's a bit of a delay with that. Anyway, in order to start fail stacking, you just start enhancing the base version of this piece of gear and eventually it'll get to plus 14. That's the most optimal stage because it's really hard to get plus 15 and you're still using blackstone armors at that point. Once it does hit plus 15, you can cleanse the gear and bring it down to 14, and I'll show you how. In any of the churches in any major city, you'll find there's going to be a priest. So if you speak to the priest and click cleanse gear, you can choose a plus 15 item here and cleanse it down to 14. It costs a little bit of silver, but it does save you a lot of time instead of having to build a new plus 14 item. Back in the old days, we used to get on a red alt and let the guards in a town kill us multiple times until it downgraded. It was pretty toxic and annoying. But now it's much easier to do so, so whenever your reblath gear hits plus 14, just run to the priest and get it cleansed. Now, the reason why blackstone armors cost more than blackstone weapons at the base level is because so many people are using the blackstone armors for fail stacking. If you do have a surplus of blackstone weapons, you certainly can use these for fail stacking as well. Just pick up a cheap green weapon and start fail stacking on that. Make sure the base plus 0 level of it is really cheap and abundant on the marketplace so you have a lot of repair options. Alright, let's go over how many fail stacks you get per failure. So, enhancing all the way to plus 15 with blackstone armors or weapons, the failures give you 1 fail stack. Then plus 15 to pry failures give you 2 fail stack, using the concentrated armor and weapon stones. And then failures from pry to duo gives you 3 fail stacks. Failures from duo to try give you 4 fail stacks. Failure from try to tet give you 5 fail stacks. And then failures from tet to pen give you 6 fail stacks. Now, in addition to fail stacks you get from failing on enhancements, you can also increase your fail stack by using Valk's Cry. You can use these 10 times at any time in your fail stack. They'll increase the current fail stacks by 10. But you can't extract these from your fail stack like you would with a blacksmith secret book. Let's say you had a 90 stack and you used 10 of these to make it a 100 stack. If I used one of these secret books, you'd get only the 90 stack. So similarly, the plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 base enhancement fail stack you get from your adventure log by completing an X number of quests, they also don't extract into a fail stack. So either way, they're still useful, and when you use a Nader's Band, these will actually be saved in the Nader's Band. So unlike the secret book, these do get transferred. So it'll say here, and you'll see the symbol for the Valk's Cry here. So when you put it in, you'll see that it was also stored in here if I had any. I didn't use any here right now, but you get the idea. Now, time for the disclaimer part, guys. I'm going to go over how to build a large fail stack. I'm going to go over what fail stack to use when you're trying to succeed. But remember, RNG is RNG. You can hit a pen at 1 fail stack. You can fail a duo at 300 fail stack. It is mathematically possible, and the odds are usually against your favor. So keep that in mind. If you fail, I know it's painful, but just keep trying or give up and buy the gear. So anyway, let's get started with how to build a large fail stack. So when you're building a large fail stack, this is how I go about it. I'd build up till 25 by failing on plus 14 reblath gear. Then I fail 2 clicks on pry attempts and get it to 31. Then I fail 4 clicks on duo attempts and get it to 47. Then I start failing on try and tet attempts on green gear and get it to 92. And then I'll use a Valk's Cry 10 times and get it to 102. Now if you want to go for a fail stack which is ridiculously large, that's 150, 250, 300, etc. You'd want to start failing on pen attempts. So you get a piece of boss gear and start clicking to pen and let it fail and stack up all the way until the desired fail stack. So listen, it's really painful, like I said, when you do hit right before you're at your goal fail stack, but you know, you can set yourself up for profit instead. For example, if you're tapping a tet piece of green gear at the later stages like 90s, then if it procs to a pen, then great, you can sell it for profit and start over. So just keep that in mind and take this whole thing with a grain of salt. It's different for everybody because RNG is RNG, and at the same time it's the same for everybody because we're all gonna fail a lot of times. Now let's say you fail stack to a certain level and you want to save that stack instead of consuming it for your gear. There's a few ways you can do this. First is the Nader's Band. You unlock the Nader's Band by a quest with your Black Spirit. You click on this icon here and you just click one of the empty spots and it will transfer the fail stack over or switch it with another fail stack. Now if you don't want to switch characters or use the Nader's Band, you can save it in your inventory. Go to the blacksmith and purchase a blacksmith secret book and use that. It can be pretty pricey, but it is also worth it if you're a high-end player and you want to say build 100 plus 20 stacks and have a big enhancement session. That's up to you. But anyway, you get one of those books, you can click it and use it with the Black Spirit, skip the animation and extract your enhancement chance. So there we go. Now we have it in our inventory as an advice of Valks. Now let's talk about how many fail stacks to use for a certain type of gear. We're going to start off with green gear first and then work our way up to Blackstar. Going to plus 15 with any of these gears is pretty easy. RNG is RNG, so you might fail quite a bit with boss gear, but I'd click all the way up till you're at 20 fail stacks and then refresh. So at the lower end at the enhancements, just use 0 to 10. At the higher end, use 10 to 15 to 20. Just don't go over 20 because those are better used for going for pry and higher. For green weapon and armor, I'd go for a pry attempt at around 18 or higher stack. I'd go for duo around 20 because you don't downgrade when you fail. Then I'd go for try from 35 to 42. And then for tet around 65 to 70 plus. And for pen, I'd go around 80 to 90 plus, but I wouldn't get the stack too high because once it's at 100, that's closer to a boss pen and weapon. So I wouldn't waste on a green then. But it is cheap to cron green gear, by the way. So if you are going for a pen attempt, you can keep that in mind. I won't be giving you guys recommendation for green accessories because they're pretty useless nowadays. So let's move on. For blue weapons and armors, pry 18, duo 20, try around 30 to 35. You can start tapping. I'd stop at around mid 40s. For tet, 60 plus. For pen, 90 plus, 100 plus even, but it feels like a waste of 100 stack. For blue accessories, I'd start around 15 for pry, duo at 25, try at around 44, tet at around 70 plus, pen 100 plus. Now we're getting into the good stuff. Tuvala armors and weapons. Pry, you want to start at 15 plus, duo you want to start around 20 plus, try 30 plus, tet 40 plus, and pen 60 plus. Tuvala accessories are quite similar to the armors and weapons aside from the pry attempts, which can be done with very little stacks. I'd use at most around 10. For duo, I'd use around 20 stacks. For try, definitely 30 plus. For tet, 40 to 60. And for pen attempts, I'd go for 60 plus. Make sure you're using Valk's Cry to push your stacks up to the next bracket if need be. Don't feel the compulsion to use a 58 stack on a tet where you can push it to 60 plus with Valk's Cry and try for pen. Now for boss weapons and armors. So for Pry, I'd go for around 18 to 25 stacks. For Duo, 20 to 35. Try, 38 to 50. Tet attempts, 60 to 100. And pen attempts at 100 plus. Now for gold accessories, you can start tapping Pry at around 18. For Duo, around 40. For Try, around 44. For Tet, around 80 to 110. For pen, I'd say 160 to 170 for something cheap like a narc earring, but for something more expensive, I'd recommend over 230, something high. I know it seems a bit high in terms of the recommendation, RNG is RNG, but you lose your item if you fail, so I'd say it's worth it. Now for Blackstar weapons and armors. Going for Pry, I'd recommend 20 plus. For Duo, 30 to 40. For Try, 60 to 80. For Tet, 110 to 170. And for Pen Blackstar, 270 plus definitely. For Lifeskill Gear, it's a bit different. Lifeskill armors and accessories do not consume Failstacks and are not affected by Failstacks. They have a base percentage chance of success, so you can just tap and pray. For tools, however, they follow the same Failstack and use the same stones as weapons do. The reason why I went over the Failstacks for green weapons and armors and blue weapons and armors, even though we don't enhance and use them much anymore, is for the tools. For example, Logia tools will follow the same stacks as green weapons and armors. The blue tools will follow the same stacks as blue weapons. Manos tools will follow the same stacks as boss weapons, and if more. So let's talk a little bit about enhancing for profit. I'll tell you what I know. I only do it at a dinky little level of like Logia accessories, whatever. But people like Biohack do it the real way and make big money off it. So theoretically I can explain it, but I haven't done it in practice at their level, and I'll show you what I know. That's basically it. What you want to do is you want to collect a lot of gear. So a ton of reblast gear, all in your inventory, like plus 14s, plus 15s, Pries, Duos, Tries, Tets, and you get those by constantly enhancing, constantly fail stacking, and eventually some of them fail, some of them do succeed, and when they do succeed, don't feel bad, just use them for a higher stack later on. Same thing with the boss gear. If you see Biohack, he's probably the best one that streams it. He has so many boss gears in his inventory. The reason being is he's using those to build those fail stacks, and as they succeed and as they fail, they just switch positions in their system, and he's constantly just reusing them. So the whole point of enhancing for profit is to be able to build those large fail stacks and constantly go tap for pens. You could cron for pens. Now that's just another cost involved. You could argue that, you know, it's worth saving the money on fail stacks and just cronning. That is an option, but at the end of the day, it's a risk, right? And you're bottlenecked by the marketplace where you have to get the costumes in order to enhance. So by building your own system, you don't have to wait for anyone. You don't have to wait for costumes to show up on the marketplace, and you could constantly tap. Whereas if you are using cron stones, I mean, it can be a bit expensive and it might eat away at the profits, but at the same time, you don't have to build an enormous amount of stack every time. But at the same time, I think you do need to build those stacks, right? If you want to constantly make new pens, you do need a system in order to get that 100 stack. So it's a bit of both. Just keep that in mind. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of the knowledge from what I know about how to do it. So if you guys want like in-depth knowledge, you're gonna have to look elsewhere because I haven't done it yet. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you find this video helpful. Please do let me know in the comments what you guys think, how your enhancement journey is going. Feel free to rant. I mean, this game can be really frustrating in that sense, but anyway, hit the like button, comment down below, and hit the bell icon so you see notifications when I go live or when I drop a new video. It really helps my analytics, it helps my channel grow. I really do appreciate all the support. Check me out at twitch.tv/I'mPansy. I stream there as well. And join me in my Discord channel. That's the best way to reach me, guys. If you DM me, it gets lost in the sea of DMs I get. So just come into my Discord channel and you can add me there or just talk to me directly. And dude, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys next time.